In this tutorial, we're going to create this text for food logo that you see here. We're going to use Corel Draw X4 to do it, and we're going to work with some of the shaping tools to create this logo. And the shaping tools in Corel Draw are really powerful, and we're going to set up some options that are going to make them even more powerful while we're working with them. I'm going to start with a simple rectangle over here in the toolbar, and I'm going to create a rectangle shape. Just left click, hold down, drag, and you'll see that you can create a rectangle shape of any type of shape that you'd want, and I'll go ahead and release that. Now you notice that for my rectangle tool, if I hover over any of the nodes in this particular rectangle, nothing happens. But if I go to Tools and Options, go to Display and click on Enable Node Tracking, then select OK, come back to my rectangle tool, and if I hover over a node, it'll actually change to the shaping tool. Left click, hold down, and I can round the corners or edges on my rectangle, as you can see there. Now what we're going for here is this humanistic body shape that we have here, and we're going to use these rectangles to create that. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. So left click, hold down, right click one time, duplicate that object. Off here to the right click one more time, grab my rotation handles and change the rotation of that object so it matches the arms of the design that I'm going for up here at the top of the page. Go ahead and put that arm over here where I think I would want it to be. Now, one thing I want to do is resize this arm a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and right click on that and select Convert to Curves. Now it won't be a shape anymore, now it'll just be a curve in Corel Draw. And then I can come over to my shaping tool, and I'll actually grab all these nodes and just bring this in a little bit here, right to about there. Next step is going to be to duplicate this object, left click, hold down my Control key so everything stays on the same line horizontally. Right click one time, duplicate over here to the left, come up and click on Mirror in the Properties bar, and then we'll bring that back in here to the top of this trunk. Then I'm going to hold down my Shift key, select both objects, go up to my Properties bar, click on Weld, hold down Shift again, select the trunk part of the body, then hit my C key, and that will center everything. Then go back up, hit Weld again. Next thing I want to do is address this line that's straight here at the bottom. I want that to be curved, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom in there and see what I'm dealing with. Got a couple of different nodes there. We've got one node over here. Double click, that'll be deleted. Then we've got another node over here. Double click, that will be deleted. Then we're going to lasso both of these nodes. Come up here and click on Make Node Smooth, and that will bring our curve down, as you can see there. So that's no longer straight. Now what I want to create is the head or the circle that's at the top of the logo. I'll move this body down. I'll grab my ellipse tool. I'm going to start here at the center, hold down Shift and Control, create a perfect circle. That will be my head. I'll go ahead and position that right up here, just a little bit above what's the trunk or the arms of this body. Hold down my Shift key, click on the trunk part of the shape again, and hit my C key to center everything. Then go back to Weld. Then I'm going to go over here to my color palette, click on Blue to fill, right click on the X to knock off my outline, and I've created my body shape here. Next, I'm going to need another ellipse for the actual logo that we see here. Actually, let me resize that so we can see that while we're working. And I'll just go ahead and tuck that in over here, and we'll go ahead and move this over here. Next, I'm going to create another ellipse around the outside of the body here, so I'll come over here to the ellipse tool, start right around here in the center, hold down Shift and Control, and I'll be able to create a perfect ellipse, just as you can see there. Now, the next thing I want to do is move this ellipse up a little bit. Then I want to take this trunk body, I want to move the stem or the trunk down here a little bit, so I'm going to get my shaping tool, I'll lasso all those nodes, I'm going to start pulling down, hold down my Control key, and we'll bring that right down, as you can see there. Now, the next thing that I need to do is trim the body or the trunk of this humanistic form in the logo. I'll do that simply by creating another rectangle, and then I'm going to go ahead and select my ellipse, and then I'm going to go to Window, Dockers, and I'm going to come right down here to my shaping docker, and that will open up. Let's move over a little bit. Then I'm going to click Trim, and I'm going to come and click on my rectangle here. Then I'm going to click Trim again, and I'm going to come and click on this humanistic figure, and that will trim that. The next step in my logo is going to be to put a contour around the outside of this humanistic shape. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Window, Dockers, and then I'm going to come down here to Contour. This is set to 0.12. Let's hit Apply and see how that looks. Actually going to want quite a bit more than that. I'm just going to key in 25, and then I'll hit Apply, and then we'll see how that looks. And 25 actually looks like that's going to be good enough for now. So I'll right click and select Break Contour Group Apart. Then I'm going to click on the contour object. After I click off, hold down my Shift key, click on the ellipse, then I'll come up here and click on back minus front in my properties toolbar, as you can see there, and then we'll fill that with a sky blue also, and a right click on our color palette to take the outline off. Now we've got our basic humanistic shape here. I'm going to go ahead and select all of that and group everything. Then I'm going to resize that and bring that down here near the other logo here, and we'll zoom in and finish up our work with this logo. Go ahead and zoom in here, and the next thing I want to do is put ellipse around the outside of this particular logo here. So I'm just going to come over to the ellipse tool, start in the center, hold down Shift and Control, go to the outside. Now I can lasso everything, hit C and E to center both vertically and horizontally. Then I want to put an outline on this ellipse that I just created. Now I'll actually come over here and go to my Properties docker for that, and you can get to that with a right click through Properties. I'll close this contour docker. You can actually right click and come down and go to Properties if you want to, off of a right click here, and that will also open that docker for you. I prefer to work out of my docker than going down into my toolbars here or my toolbox for my outlines and fills and stuff, except for when I'm using the interactive fill. But anyway, at this point what I'll do is I'll go ahead and give this an outline, and we'll look at 0.8. That's actually too big. Go to 0.4. 0.4 looks like it's going to be good. We do want to select scale with image. Come over here, right click on the color palette. Now I've got the blue ellipse around the outside and the contour cut out around my humanistic shape inside of the circle. Go ahead and lasso everything. Go ahead and click on group. I could also get to that through a right click and select group, or I could hit Control G. The last step for creating this shape is that I want to come up here to my effects and go to add perspective. Then I'll go ahead and change the perspective of this design, give this logo a little bit of depth, as you can see here, and we've pretty well recreated our logo. And then we could go ahead and resize that and do some additional adjustments or tweaking based on the look that we're looking for. For instance, I can ungroup now, and I can see that my outline is a little bit thicker here, so I can actually come over here, click on my outline, and I could type in 1.5 and hit enter, and actually that's too small. Let's try 0.8 and hit enter, and actually we'll go for 2.0 and hit enter, and now I've got that basic shape for that logo. Not identical to the other one, but very close. Go ahead and group everything, and then all we'd have to do is go ahead and type in our text, and we'd have our logo created in CorelDRAW X4.